Hello guys, so I'm gonna redo this video because the one I sent you was in silence. Okay, so this is the second video of the reproduction, the second time I do the video of the reproduction, but it's the first part, okay? So let's start with what is the reproduction. Reproduction is the biological process which produces new individual organisms. It guarantees that the species will continue to exist. And we need, for the reproduction, we need progenitors, okay? And these progenitors will give us the offspring or the descendants, okay? There are two main types of reproduction. We've got asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. What is the difference? Well, in asexual reproduction, we only need one individual that's going to divide into two new individuals that will be identical, all right? In the sexual reproduction, we're going to have two individuals that are going to they're going to exchange the genetic information between them, and that what we'll obtain is a new descendant that will have a mix of both genetic information. Right, in the sexual reproduction in animals, okay, we can distinguish two main types. This first one is going to be what we call the fragmentation, where one organism is going to be able to divide into two. Okay, we've got here the example of the flatworms. Okay, you can see this is a real photo of a flatworm dividing into two. All right, and it's basically like this how they do it, from the top to the bottom, or from the bottom to the top, or even directly sideways. Okay, then another type is going to be the budding. Okay, this is the main animals that are going to do it are going to be the corals, okay, the polyps, where they're going to form these buds that are very similar to the adults, okay, that will separate and then they can attach to the floor again. Then, most of the animals, well, all the animals are going to have sexual reproduction, okay? The asexual reproduction is nearly an exception. Now, in the sexual reproduction, what we need is a male and a female, okay? A male and a female. Each one will produce their own gametes, okay? These gametes are going to be the reproductive cells that are produced in the gonads, okay, which will be exclusive for males and females. These gametes will join together, forming the zygote, okay, and this zygote will develop into an embryo. All right. Now, in animals, we're going to have separate sexes, okay, the male and the female, and well, the male, the gonads are going to be the testicles, and the gametes is going to be the sperm, whilst in the female, the gonads are going to be the ovaries, and the gamete is going to be the ovum. All right. Now, in animals, something very curious happens, okay, and it's what we call the sexual dimorphism, okay? It doesn't happen in every single animal, okay? But in some occasions, evolution has made animals to distinguish male and female, okay? So, it's just secondary sexual characteristics that allows us to distinguish a male and a female from the exterior looking, okay, and without having to check the gonads, okay. So in this case, for example, we've got a male duck and a female duck. You can distinguish it perfectly, all right, or a male peacock and a female peacock, and the same with the lions, okay. Now, in some animals, we're gonna find hermaphrodites, okay. In this case, what happens is that every single individual is going to have male and female gametes. This happens in species where it's very difficult for two individuals to find each other, okay? And it happens, for example, in snails or even in earthworms. But it's not very common, all right? And then we've got another type that's going to be the alternation of generations. This happens with the jellyfish and the polyps, okay? Jellyfish and polyps are the same thing. The only thing that distinguish is that polyps do asexual reproduction, okay? They do the budding, all right? And when it separates, these buds can transform into jellyfish, okay, or medusa stage. The medusas are going to have the gonads. They're going to produce the gametes that will do the fertilization, form the zygotes, and the zygote, when it fixes to the floor, it will form a whole new polyp. Okay, so here I finished the introduction to the reproduction. Okay, the following day we'll have the second class.